Hello and welcome to PlumeriaPlay. Today we are going to be building a mostly all yellow house in the world of Oasis Springs because we are moving our Not So Berry challenge there and we are on the yellow generation. We have a lot to get into, so let's hop into this video. For starters, you don't have to watch my Not So Berry challenge to enjoy this build video or to even use this build video. I do make a lot of decisions that are very specific to the yellow generation of the Not So Berry challenge. But this house is going to be full of skill building objects that are really perfect for any Sims family and most Sims in any career. We end up with rocket ships, a woodworking garage, a gym space, and then I even have a couple of rooms that end up as nice flex spaces. I actually love this house and how much we were able to fit into this house. It ends up being way bigger than I planned for, but it's going to be really nice to have some space for my family to grow into. I did build this house with a budget, but the budget was like 180,000 simoleon, so it was quite a big budget. We end up with this very modern style looking house. I actually tried really hard at first to do a mid-century modern home, but with the size that I needed it to be, I was just struggling to make it work. So it's kind of more typical contemporary modern on the outside, but on the inside, I do try to go with some more like playful mid-century modern vibes mixed in. What you are watching now though is my third attempt of this build. So I had two other renditions that I bulldozed pretty immediately, which funnily enough, when I started on this one, it came together so fast, which the shape is honestly really simple. So it kind of makes sense that it would come together really fast. But even the floor plan, I think I placed the stairs down once and I think they stayed exactly where I placed them, which was honestly just kind of lucky. I do say all that to say that building is not always a linear process. Like I said, there were two pretty miserably failed attempts before we ended up at this house. I had just built a modern house though on this exact lot, so I was kind of trying to do something a little bit different, but turns out modern in Oasis Springs just works a little bit better. I feel like a mid-century modern would look good here. It was just for the size that it needed to be. It was kind of hard to do because a typical mid-century modern is all one story. And I believe this house ends up being like 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms and maybe with a couple of bonus rooms. So like there's a lot of space in this house. So to have that all flat on one level would have been kind of difficult, especially to roof it in a way that was interesting. I feel like a typical mid-century modern house is more suited to like a 3-bed, 2-bath style of home. But I am currently trying to branch out a little bit on styles. Actually, the modern house that we built here was part of a new like mini series that I'm doing that I'm calling Spin the Aesthetic, where we spin for a style of build and then we try to build that in The Sims. And the first one I got just so happened to be modern, which is kind of funny and a little ironic that I had always planned to build this house here and that I always wanted it to be at least a semi-modern style. But we are across the street from the land grab house because in the Rose generation, I had 2 sisters that were like born into the Rose generation, and one of them is our heir who is Primrose, and the other one is her sister who is Briar, and Briar married a land grab, so she now lives across the street in the land grab mansion. So it only made sense that we move across the street from her because she literally calls us every episode. Also, I am gonna try to cut out all the extra noises, but I did notice a little bit of barking in that last clip. A thunderstorm has just started outside of my house, so you may hear some thunder too. But my dogs think that if they bark, they can bark away the thunder. Let me know if your animals do that. But so now they're barking more, but like also like the rain and thunderstorm sounds are starting to happen. So hopefully it's not too annoying. I swear it was literally just sunshine and this has come out of nowhere. Like I was literally just outside and it was sunny and now there's like a full-blown thunderstorm. But anyways, back to the build. As you can see, we are now working on the interior floor plan, and I was set on the idea of a sunken living room. I guess because at some point I was set on mid-century modern like we talked about. So I really wanted the living room to be sunken, but I really wanted the living room to be where it is here, like in that center where the camera is now. But the only thing is we ended up with so many stairs if we did it that way. And I kind of left it like that. I was like, okay, well, maybe we can live with that many stairs. Like maybe it's okay. And then the more I looked at it and then the more I tried to like actually lay out the furniture in this area, it was like, it's not making sense. Like there's no good place to put it because no matter where we put it, it's going to be blocking some stairs. And I kind of hated that. we do end up figuring it out, and we use like platforms as stairs, and so 2 of the staircases are going to get connected. It took me a while to get there, so you'll have to bear with me for a second. I don't usually mess with platforms too much because I find the platforms to be immensely annoying. You'll have to let me know if you agree, but it did make a better space for the living room, and it kind of made the living room have a little corner, and then there was more of a walk-through space from the platforms to the stairs. I actually love the way this house ends up laid out. It's like open concept, but the living room is separated, and then the kitchen and the dining room are together, but they're all still very close together and open. And since this is the yellow generation, everything is super yellow. I had to use the couches from Cozy Kitsch. They were the couches that were always going to be used no matter what the house looked like. I think they are the perfect shade of yellow. Also, those random little thuds, I'm like 99% sure were hail. So like, I don't know what's happening with the weather outside. I promise I would stop it if I could, but I don't really have another time to record this video. And this is actually my second attempt to record this video, because the first time my husband went out to do lawn work, and I thought he was gonna mow the grass, but instead he was literally right outside my window with a chainsaw. I don't even know what he was cutting, but it was like every time I would hit record, it'd be like bzzz. So like, maybe this video just isn't meant to be recorded, but we are gonna power through. So over here on this wall, we've got a little fireplace. I love this fireplace from Eco Lifestyle, and it kind of takes me a minute to figure out what I want to do over there, but I kind of just liked it being its own separate little thing. I put some artwork up there, and then we put a little ottoman next to it. I love these little pictures from Dream Home Decorator. It's some of my favorite art in game, and I was just finding the most yellow variants that I could. And then I cut out a little bit of it, but I had tried to make the corner behind the living room its own room, but it was kind of too much with all the platforms. So I ended up leaving it kind of open, which I think works out really nicely. And Marigold's office ends up there. So when you walk in, you're kind of instantly met with this really pretty desk setup. I don't really remember if I do that now or later, but I kind of hopped around a lot in this build, I think, because I was building this by myself, and I was just kind of going to whatever inspired me at the moment. And I think it's hailing outside. Oh my God. It sounds a lot louder in real life than it did on the video, but it was in fact hailing outside. I did go look. It was like Sonic ice size, so it wasn't like big hail, but still, anytime you see hail, it's a little upsetting, because that usually means like tornadoes are close by, I think. Although I'm not really a weather buff. Anyways, we are doing Marigold's office now, and I swear I'm gonna stop talking about the weather. This really just has caught me off guard. But we are kind of doing the same office style that she had in her room at the other house. So I kind of imagine she just recycled that furniture and is using that again here. But we do have our cat Apollo here still. So we were trying to get all his little kitty things. So he's got a lot of stuff in this front room, but I kind of trickle things for him everywhere, except I am realizing in this moment that I did not put a litter box anywhere for him. So I will have to go back and add that in retroactively, because I definitely meant to put a litter box in one of the bathrooms and I did not do so. Speaking of bathrooms, I'm gonna be cutting those out of the speed build, so you might get glimpses of the bathrooms being finished and not have seen the build happen, and that's because I just think bathrooms are kind of boring to watch in the speed builds, and I really like to try to keep my speed builds under 20 minutes when I can. But at the end of the video, I'm gonna give you a tour of everything, so you'll get to have a good look at all of the bathrooms. Then I know like the camera just moves around so fast, it's hard to see details when you build like this. So I always give a tour at the end of every speed build just to showcase things a little bit clearer and kind of tour the house, especially because I'm kind of a yapper and I'll yap about things like the weather, for example, that have absolutely nothing to do with this speed build. So you may miss some things, but we are in the kitchen now, and you may notice we're using a lot of the kitchen clutter. Most of the kitchen clutter comes in a beautiful yellow color, and I just love a nice cluttered kitchen. So we are taking advantage of that. And at the time that I built this, that was still super new. I mean, it is still super new, but at the rates that they release kits these days, like nothing feels new for very long anymore. Also, when do you guys think we're gonna be getting a new Sims news? Because I really thought we were gonna get it Thursday, and we ended up not getting any Sims news, so maybe next Thursday. And then I would love to know like your guess in the comments for how many kits we're gonna get like in the summer season, because I think they're gonna be releasing that roadmap any day now. Although in like the spring season, there were only 3 kits, I think, listed on the actual roadmap. And we definitely got more than that because they don't put the creator kits, like the CC kits, on the roadmap, which is kind of weird to me because I feel like nobody knows when they're coming. If my count is correct, since the start of the year, we have gotten 10 kits, both like regular kits and CC kits. 10 kits is so many kits though. That's like $50 worth of kits. That's crazy. While I do like the kits just fine, the rate in which they're releasing them is like an unsustainable rate. So I really wish that they would morph that into like bigger content, like stuff packs or game packs, or like just chill out and maybe not release quite so much. I would love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments. But we are now decorating our gym space, and the gym space ends up being kind of twofold for us because our yellow gen sim will need fitness to finish the astronaut career, but also the next generation is the gray generation, and their whole thing is like being fit. And like, I think doing the fitness career, I'm forgetting what that's called right now. So the gym is gonna last us a while and will be so nice to have, and honestly makes a lot of sense as to like why our gray gen sims end up being such big like gym buffs. Cause like if I had a home gym like that, I would probably be a gym buff too. We're now moving upstairs where all of our bedroom spaces are, and we started with this little entryway or like landing space, I guess we should probably call it. And here I just put some beanbag chairs and a little TV, like kind of just a lounge watch TV area. I think it turned out really cute. I like the yellow vibes. Like I think the chairs were fun. I don't know how much use we'll get out of it, but another thing that the gray gen ends up being is like really into movies. So maybe it starts there. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. And now we're on to Marigold's room, who is our main air sim now. She's kind of officially taken main airdom ever since she's become a teenager. But tomorrow, by the time you're seeing this, when I post Not So Berry, it will be like her first day of the astronaut career and her first day living in this house. So it's like official. Although like she has been the main character for a while now. Like we're really getting into like the challenge details at this point. Her room, I think, it turns out absolutely beautiful, but I just like yellow. This is not my first like almost all yellow house, so this was like not new to me at all. I will say I had some trouble because some of the spaces were so big that they were almost kind of hard to fill. So I ended up doing these like little filler things like the mirrors and the plants and whatnot. I truly think that's one of the more challenging things of decorating a modern home, because I usually decorate more family homes that are more filled and just smaller in general. And in modern homes, like I think to be like a true modern home, they almost need to have too much space. Like they need to have extra room to breathe. If it starts to feel too cramped, it doesn't feel very modern anymore. So it's like I want it to be open, but I don't want it to look empty. And so I find that's like my biggest challenge with modern homes. It's not that I think I'm inherently bad at building a modern home. It just takes me longer to figure it out than if I were doing like a suburban home. But now we are on to Primrose's room, and have been for just a second while I've been yapping. And her room is all red because she is still the red gen sim. The last thing that she has to do is get married as an elder, so we're not quite done with her yet. I had actually had requests to build Marigold a tiny house in the desert, and I think that that would have been so fun to do. But it's like I can't really let go of the other sims. Like even if I wanted Marigold to move out on her own, I'm not done with Primrose yet and won't be for a little bit. She's just like kind of hanging out at this point, and we're pretty much waiting until she's an elder, although I am struggling to find our girl a partner. At least she'll have a nice room while she's here, and while she looks for her partner, maybe, just maybe, she'll find them in the world of Oasis Springs. Who knows? What really gets me right now is the fact that I realized I forgot to add in stuff for the cat, came in and started adding stuff for the cat, and still managed to forget the litter box. Like how did I even do that? How did I even manage that? So now we've got a couple of rooms over here that I don't really know what to do with. So these are gonna be our gray gen rooms. I do decorate one for an infant. I don't remember if I recorded or not. And then we have another room that was originally gonna be Marigold's office in my head, but then we ended up putting her office downstairs. So now we have a flex room. and I would love to know what you think should go there. It's quite a large room. I think we could fit some fun stuff there. I was kind of thinking home movie theater, since our next generation is gonna really like to watch movies, but we could also do like a game room or like a kid's playroom. We're gonna grow into this house, so it is technically not fully furnished. But now into one of the more exciting rooms. We are furnishing our garage, and I actually do end up with a debug car in here, so it looks like an actual garage space, and we use the snowy escape door to like give it that vibe on the front of the house too. We've got our woodworking station in here, and then I included some of the things that she can repair. I also included them in the kitchen, so I think we put the coffee maker and the microwave in the kitchen for her to repair and then use. I really like the new workshop restoration kit. I think it was really good for this, and Marigold is the perfect sim for this kit. I'm actually really excited to see the gameplay functionality of like the electric box and the water heater, but also I had a bunch of stuff from our original sim who is Minty in the Mint Gen, and she had like space stuff. I'll put that in there too. And now we are on to the backyard, which you're gonna watch me struggle with for just a second, but I am gonna leave it in because the struggle was real and I feel like you might need to see that. So I wanted to make our rocket ships feel intentional. Like, not like we just had a rocket ship plop down in the corner, but that there was a dedicated space for these rocket ships to go. And I am horrible at desert landscaping. Like, what is this? What is she doing right now? So we went to the gallery and I found one. I will pause and show you the creator name at the end. So basically I just got all of this landscaping from their gallery and copy and pasted it all around. I went with more of like a lush desert landscaping. This isn't a poor man's house. Like, they could afford some water flow to keep some of this stuff alive. So I do use a few things from like Sulani and stuff. And I think this helps so much. So we end up with these like little landscape pockets around and about, and it just kind of helps separate the house off some. To be honest with you, I'm still not fully obsessed with it, but I do think it's some of the better desert landscaping that I've personally ever done. Feel free to drop any desert landscaping tips in the comments below. It's like, no matter how hard I try, I'm just not good at it. I haven't ever seen a desert in real life, so it's like I don't even have anything to pull from. Since we're going with more of an oasis vibe, we had to get a big pool. I've been obsessed with the idea of big pools lately. I feel like all of my Sims builds have had a large pool. I don't know why that is, but I like it. I'm not complaining. I think pools are a fun vibe. I think they're fun stuff for your Sims to do. We have a grill and a little patio table on the porch back there. And then I'm putting a little umbrella and some lounge chairs down by the actual pool. I don't know if I put pool floats, but if I don't, I'll definitely go back and do that retroactively. And then back to the landscaping, because I still don't know what I'm doing. Also, why is it that every time I place one palm tree, it has to be a second one next to it? What is that? Like, can it not just be one palm tree? Apparently not. There's a few more things that get changed on the exterior, and I do add a lot more landscaping in the front. But other than that, it's just kind of final detail. So I am actually gonna go ahead and hop in game and give you a tour of the full build finished. So we are here in the world of Oasis Springs, right across from the land grab residence, and this is our house here. I think it actually looks really nice from the map view, so I'm pretty pleased with that. And here is a look at the house fully done. I think she looks gorgeous from the front. I actually think the front landscaping ended up pretty good. And then I actually did a lot of outdoor lighting, so it is very well lit at nighttime. But back to daytime, we've got a couple of entrances. So the first main two are the driveway and then this little walkway that lead to the main front door of the house. But also we have a little side garage entrance here that leads to this back door. But let's start at the front of the house. So if you walk through our front door, right when you walk in, you're met with this little entryway space. It's very minimally decorated, but I think quite cute. And then moving in straight ahead, we've got Marigold's office zone. If you come straight, you are met with our little living room space, or I guess I should say a big living room space, but it is so cute and cluttered and so yellow, and I love it. Moving on up those stairs, we've got a little cat tree, and then over to the left of that, we've got our dining room and a massive kitchen that is so perfectly cluttered. I am gonna have her fix these, so those will get fixed in my game pretty quickly. But heading back to the living room stairs, if you go go straight, that's where our huge gym space is. They've got a couple of yoga mats, a lot of weight, and then we've got 2 of the treadmills and 1 of these weight machines. Something I had actually really wanted to put that I forgot to do was these get to work TVs in front of each treadmill. I just like that your Sims can watch TV and work out simultaneously. And in that same little hallway, we've got our first bathroom. It is a big bathroom, but I love a big bathroom space, and I think it turned out so cute. We've got this like cute little spa wall almost with a couple of the like mirrors that are seamless and some pretty robes and a little bench. Back in the living room space, the stairs to get upstairs are right here. Once you're up the stairs, you're met with this landing zone that has this pretty pastel pop bookshelf, some food for the animals, and a little TV hangout zone. If you keep going straight, you'll be met with Primrose's room, which is extremely red, like kind of hurt your eyes red just a little bit, but I think in a good way. And she has an ensuite bathroom right here. Back into our landing, if you go to the left, that's where Marigold's room is. She has access to this patio, which has a chess table and a telescope. And then moving further in, she's got a little seating area and her own ensuite bathroom right here. I've got 2 rooms that are gonna be for our gray gen Sims. I left one empty and then one I decorated for a baby. It's a little preemptive because my Sim doesn't even have a partner yet, so like I don't need a baby room, but I didn't want to leave it totally empty, and I don't think that that was in the speed build, so I apologize for that. I must have built it off camera, but it's very gray, so it's not exactly like the cutest baby room you ever saw. It's actually kind of sad, but this room is the exact same, just flipped, and that'll be another room eventually. And then this is the room that I don't know what to do with exactly, so if you want to let me know your thoughts in the comments, I would appreciate it. We could also make it another like gray baby room, so we might need to just wait and like see how the family shapes out. But I do like the idea of a theater room because we could do like a little popcorn setup back here and then like a big TV on this wall here. We could also make it like a games room or like a playroom. Like I said, we could also change the room as our Sims change. So maybe while these kids that don't exist yet, maybe while they're young children, this is a playroom, and then when they're older, it turns into a game room, and then when maybe they're teens, it's a movie room. Like we can make it be a flex room. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And then back outside, we have our little garage space. I thought I left the car on the inside, but I actually put it out here to make room for the space stuff that we had. I don't know how much I'll use these 2 items. This is a cloning mat, and then this is a wormhole. You can get to 6 them through this, but it has to be completely upgraded. And I don't know if Marigold can upgrade it, but I might try to find out. But what I can do is contact aliens with this, which I think could be fun. So we might do some alien contacting. And then on this wall, she has like her handiness zone. If you come out of the little side door, you can either go into this door here, which leads into the dining room and kitchen, or you can keep going straight, which is gonna lead you into our large backyard. I did end up changing our pool tile to be this one from, I think, Riviera Retreat, if I'm not mistaken. It's very yellow, debatably too yellow, but if you're ever gonna do a 2 yellow build, this is the time. So I'm kind of happy with it. I do want to add some pool floats before I upload it to the gallery. I am thinking at least this one. They don't consider the pizza yellow, and I'm just gonna have to disagree because cheese is definitely yellow. And then over here, we've got some landscaping, and then we have one built rocket ship already, so will you if you get this off my gallery. And then I have another one that I want her to build that is the same rocket ship. And then we have our little patio with our table and our grill over here. And then the garbage cans are here in the back. And I did remember a mailbox. So I think that's everything. Oh, a litter box. I need a litter box. Maybe just to be funny, the only thing I'll put in this room right now is the cat's litter box. It's the cat's room now. I mean, we could make a dedicated Apollo room. I wouldn't even be opposed to that. I'm gonna go ahead and get that up on the gallery for you if you're interested. It's just Not So Berry Yellow House, and I do use hashtag PlumeriaPlay to give you an easier time finding it. It is by no means a limited pack build, but usually the builds that I build for like my families aren't limited pack builds. So it's pretty pack hefty. I use a lot of kits, especially in this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, comment a yellow heart emoji in the comments below for our all yellow house. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.